Okay, now that I've corralled all my colleagues, we're going to go ahead and start this meeting tonight. We have established a quorum, and I would like to ask Dr. Nola Jones if she would lead us in the pledge tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. All right, so we're going to do 30 seconds in my district, and so Ms. Buggs, would you like to start tonight?
Sure. So I have a lot of good things that have happened in my district. I have a lot of good things that have happened in my district recently. I want to send a special shout out to Dr. Sonia Stewart from Pearl Cone. Not only did she win the Academies of Nashville Executive Principal of the Year, she also won MNPS Executive Principal of the Year. She's had great growth. They've pulled in great resources. She does a good job of writing grants and finding funding for her school, and the community involvement is nothing like it was decades ago. So I really appreciate and support her. Of course, I want to shout out Rose Park Middle School. Whoop, whoop. Not only are they in my district, but one of my little brothers attended there, and he's graduating this weekend, so they obviously did a good job. And then, of course, one of my former Neely's Bend colleagues, Mrs. Welch, is here. We also have, or you'll hear more about Rose Park and why I shouted them out. Englewood Elementary School will have their field day this week. They also will have a STEM conference on the 12th. Head Middle School will be doing a STEM conference, which is an all-day conference. They've been working for months to build this up, 25 different presenters coming. It's just going to be a really good day for the students. Although they're not in my district, I do have to shout out West End Middle School. They are the only all-girls middle school lacrosse team. They had a phenomenal season. They won their last game. Just so proud of them and excited for them. Again, the graduation season begins, and I have to be that guy. My little brother, Matthew Cunningham, will be graduating from MLK. He is the last of our brood, and I'm sure my parents are excited, so yay to that. And then Hume Fogg Academic and MLK had their final senior game last week. MLK won. Again, whoop, whoop. Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay, well, at the Teacher of the Year banquet last year, the Hillsborough cluster did really well. And Paula Pendergrass is a teacher at Robertson Academy with the Encore program, and she won Teacher of the Year for the district for the elementary level. Danielle Stein, a teacher at Julia Green, who was my son's teacher last year, was first runner-up for the elementary Teacher of the Year. And then Cicely Woodard, who we've been honoring a lot here lately, did win District Middle School Teacher of the Year, and we are still rooting for her in the finalists for the state. And then the poem that I read a couple of weeks ago by Oliver Jackson at Percy Priest won. So he did win, and he won $500. My lucky day.
Yes, I'd like to congratulate the following Antioch High School seniors on their scholarships. Mina Bushira won a $10,000 Avid Navigator Scholarship. Mahirat Miriam won a $1,000 Avid Navigator Scholarship. Marco Aziz won a $1,000 Avid Navigator Scholarship. Ariel Quintini won a $5,000 Big Brother Nashville Sounds Character Scholarship and an additional $1,000 Navigator Scholarship. 4 out of 10 Avid Navigator Scholarships were in MNPS went to Antioch High School, and 3 out of 4 of those went to AEAT students. Cambridge High School students had 3 students to receive the ACE, which is Architecture, Construction, and Engineering Scholarships, and I'd like to congratulate all of those students.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2 quick things. I just want to give a shout out to the Creative Artists Agency, CAA, which has been a long time volunteer partner at Whitsitt Elementary School. CAA represents a number of the most talented artists in the music industry in Nashville and around the country and around the world, and their employees and staff here in Nashville do a great job supporting Whitsitt. So go CAA and go Wildcats. And then Secondly, I drove by Glencliff High School the other day, and I'm pleased to report that construction is well underway on the new athletic complex there. New stadium, new bleachers came in about a year or so ago, but now we're going to have a new field, a new track, new concession, new bathrooms, and an alumni pavilion, an alumni room to support one of the most active alumni chapters in the school system. So thank you to Mr. Henson, Mr. Profit, and others in the facilities and construction team that are speeding along that much needed and much welcomed improvement at Glencliff High School.
Oh,
So I just want to highlight some of the great musical theater performances that are going on in the district. I was blown away by the Hillsborough players that came and did Guys and Dolls for us. They are phenomenal. And so right after they came and performed for us, I went to see a fabulous production of Little Women at Hillwood High School. And I want to commend Bethany Daniels, who is the English teacher, who also directed the production. It was a challenging production, and there are a lot of really talented kids that participated in that. And then outside my district, I also went to a Meigs Middle School production of Legally Blonde twice last week because my children knew children in the production. So I took my daughter one night, my son the next night, and it was also wonderful. And then coming up on May 17th through 19th, we at Gower Elementary School, I'm also going to be that guy. My son's going to be performing as Scar in The Lion King, and they are super excited. So if you want to come, they would love to have lots of folks there. And I've got other announcements about my district, but I will save those for the end. We have lots of good things going on in my district, too.
Dr. Brandon.
Yes. We've been very busy with receptions and honors to our employees, and we have attended the 30 and 40-year and 45-year employees. We've also been attending the Teacher of the Year celebration, and I wanted to really highlight I want to say hello to those teachers that I worked with who were Teacher of the Years during my tenure in Metro schools. And also we had retirees whose number of years totaled over 5,000 years of service. And so we say hello and goodbye because Ms. Story was trying to get them to come back and participate in the 120-day service. So congratulations to all.
Dr. Gentry.
Thank you. So this just reminded me, speaking of performances across the district, where my daughter goes to school at Hume Fogg, they were going to be doing Hello, Dolly. It's going to be their next major production, so if you're able to go and check it out, they always do an amazing job. And it's always great to go to her final exam, which is a choral presentation at in the March-April timeframe. They did travel to Chicago to participate in a nationwide choral competition, and they performed very, very well. One thing I don't remember if we did is if we thanked Trelawney Lane over at IT Crestwell for hosting our State of the Schools presentation. So we got a chance to hear from their choral group performers, which was absolutely, absolutely amazing as well. And I want to remind parents and community supporters that it's field day time. So all of our middle schools and elementary schools are hosting field days. And so if you don't know when your child's field day is, find out, make sure they get a T-shirt and go out there and cheer them on.
My 30 seconds in my district happened about a month ago. We held our first McGavock Cluster Coalition breakfast, fundraising breakfast at Hermitage Hills Baptist Church. We had a strings quartet perform from McGavock High School. We had a choral group from McGavock High School. The culinary students both prepared and served our breakfast, and it was a fabulous breakfast. We raised almost $90,000 for our scholarships that we award our graduating seniors who qualify for it. And this is a project that was born out of Leadership Donaldson Hermitage, my project team, and it was very grassroots for many years. And lately, this is our 5th year to award $500 scholarships to graduates at McGavock High School. So, to the viewing audience, if you were there, thank you. And our board of directors all worked very hard to pull this off and make it happen. So that's my 30 minutes in my district. So now we'll move on to awards and recognitions. Dr. Joseph.
Thank you, Madam President. The National Center for Urban School Transformation has announced the winners of the 2017 America's Best Urban Schools Award. We're truly delighted to announce that Rosa Park Middle School, Science and Magnet Middle School, has been identified as one of the best urban schools in the nation. The award's given to exemplary elementary, middle, and high school schools that have excellent test scores exceeding state averages, high student attendance, and excellent student behavior. Rose Park has been lauded for its rigorous curriculum in creating a positive school culture. Next week, the school will be featured at the America's Best Urban Schools Symposium and will be recognized as a Silver Award winner, receiving $2,500. We've been told that 4 silver winners have also been selected as Gold Award winners. That announcement will be made at the recognition ceremony to be held at the symposium. The 4 Gold Award winners will receive $5,000 in cash. So we may have even more good news to share after next week's event. I'd like to recognize Principal Robert Blankenship and congratulate the students, parents, teachers, staff, and leadership team at Rose Park for exceeding high expectations and earning such a prestigious national honor for Metro schools.
This is our second time around at this, and we did win silver 5 years ago. We're going for the gold,
Yes,
so we'll have some good news for you. But I want to say this, in all sincerity, I want my teachers to stand because they're the reason we did it. And staff. I'll see you next week.
Picture, yeah. Hey, Mr. Blankenship, come over a picture.
Mr. Vassar be in this too? Yeah, he needs to overshadow me. Come here.
I'm also delighted to announce that Metro Schools has earned a district award as the 2017 Best Communities for Music Education Award from NAMMS Foundation. The NAMM Foundation is a nonprofit foundation supported in part by the National Association of Music Merchants and its approximately 10,300 members around the world. Metro Schools is among only 4% of the public school districts in the nation to receive this prestigious award this year. The Best Communities Music Education designation is awarded to school districts that demonstrated outstanding achievement in efforts to provide music access and education to all students. I'd like Dr. Nola Jones, Coordinator of Visual and Performing Arts, to the podium to provide brief remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph. We're very pleased to be selected for the 3rd year in a row for Best Communities for Music Education. We firmly believe it's because of the commitment that our school district has and the public-private partnership of Music Makes Us. So heartfelt thank you on behalf of our 88,000 children and our teachers for music education in Metro schools.
Thank you. We will now move to the public participation portion of our program. As you see your name appear on the screen, please line up over here against the wall so that we can facilitate this quickly tonight. The first 5 are John Cummings, Peter Foster, Minnie Mitchell, T.C. Weber, and Laura Abdul.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I have my teacher voice on, so I'll try not to yell. Dr. Joseph, my name is John Cummins, and I live in Donaldson, where I teach 6th grade science at Donaldson Middle. Tonight, I speak on a matter of public concern, our miserable teacher salaries. I truly love my job, and in my opinion, I teach at the best school, and I teach the best kids in Metro Nashville. And I am part of the community. I am blessed to be able to walk to my job. I am blessed to see my students and their parents at church. I am blessed to see them in the grocery store, and I'm blessed to see them all over Donaldson. And they and their parents see me, and this leads to better educational outcomes for our kids. But this state of affairs is likely temporary because the fact of the matter is that with a master's and almost 10 years experience, I could not afford to buy a home in Nashville, Tennessee. In fact, the Nashville Business Journal is reporting that only 29% of Metro teachers, the ones with the highest salaries at the end of the education scale, can afford a medium-priced home in Davidson County. This is leading to our colleagues leaving teaching altogether or heading to other counties. And those higher-paying districts are right outside our county lines. Rutherford County is a prime example. I could have gone there this year for a $5,000 sign-on bonus and a higher base salary for teaching 6th grade math. And our teachers are doing this because of our miserable salaries. And now against other state districts, Metro salaries have hit a new low. Not only are we paid much less than Memphis, we are now paid less than teachers in Alcoa and Johnson City and Athens, Tennessee. These are Tennessee Department of Education figures, and this should embarrass any Nashvilleian with an ounce of civic pride. It is simply shameful that our teachers make less than they do in Lenore City, Tennessee. And because of this, ladies and gentlemen, almost every male teacher at Donaldson Middle Prep has to work a second job during the school year. It's almost the same for female teachers. When Nashville teachers are driving Uber, working at the airport, Measurement Inc., working at the malls on weekends, every side hustle we can do to make a little extra money. Is there any doubt that working 2 jobs doesn't wear a person down, doesn't make them a less effective teacher in the classroom? Having a second job should not be a prerequisite for teaching in Metro Nashville schools. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, let me make something very clear. You still have a lot of goodwill with Metro teachers. On one hand, we're excited about the future, but you likely do not grasp the anger and the low morale of Metro teachers right now. We know that the mayor has promised an 8% pay raise over 3 years to every other municipal employee. It is a punch in the gut to 7,000 Metro teachers to hear that. Teachers are leaving, or they're calling for much more drastic action. Ladies and gentlemen, we're your troops in the trenches. We're your team. We go to bat for you and for our city and for 86,000 kids every single day. Please, please, please help us here. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter Foster, is he not here tonight? Minnie Mitchell?
Good evening. I'm Bishop Minnie Mitchell. I'm the founder of New Life Through Christ Ministries in North Nashville and have pastored there for 20 years. I'm here today on behalf of the Clergy Coalition with Nashville Rise. I'm also the grandmother of students in Metro Public Schools. We are here today on behalf of our community, representing the parents and students of our churches in Metro Nashville's public schools. We want a higher quality of education for the children who are in the public education system. We feel that by informing parents more on options and opportunities that are available or not available is one of the important factors in achieving this high quality of education. In our communities, we are encouraging our parents, letting them know they can help ensure the success of the children's education by being more involved with their schools and by having more of a presence within the school system. We want to be the voice and an advocate for the child. My story. It was in 2016 that I met Neonta Williams at an event where she represented Bail in Nashville. We shared the same desire for our children and parents, and like other clergy, I joined with her in her endeavors and currently remain with her supporting Nashville Rise. The vision remains the same, a quality education for our children. By keeping the parents informed and in all aspects of education through communication, keeping them involved will help them to make better decisions concerning their children's educational needs. It also has a huge potential to make a positive difference in a child's educational experience. Connecting them through positive communication helps parents reinforce the right academic habits and classroom behavior that will help students to succeed. Which brings me to this point. On July 22nd, Nashville Rise and the Clergy Coalition will host a summit for that sole purpose. We are expecting approximately 300 people to attend and would like to take this opportunity to invite you, the board members, to take part with us in this summit. Moreover, the information that will follow concerning the venue and time will be presented at a later time. We are committed to being actively involved in the educational process to help our children succeed. Thank you for your time, for listening to our interests. We would like you to know that we are here to help parents and you, the board, continue and start to be actively involved in ensuring the success of our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is T.C. Weber, and I'm a parent of 2 children at Tusculumella Elementary. Y'all are familiar with that Charlie Brown cartoon, right? You know, where Lucy holds the football and Charlie Brown goes to kick the football and she pulls it out again at the last minute. She does that over and over and over. That's kind of what being a parent of a child at Tusculum Elementary School is like. For 5 years, I've come here every spring and every year begged for adequate facilities. And every year, y'all look at me and tell me next year, we're building you a new school, TC. It'll be open next year. You're getting a brand new one, TC. What are you complaining about? Well, here we are again. We are building a brand new school, and it will be open. And Lord knows we've had to suffer this year. We've got no playground. Kids play out there in a dirt pile with tires. We did have a shed they played with till one of the kids cut his leg on it and required 6 stitches. The first words out of his mouth when he went to the emergency room is, "My dad's not going to have to pay for this, is he?" But we're getting a new school. Unfortunately, though, we're going to pull the football again. And I have to point out, Dr. Joseph, you were out at the school. I believe you referred to it as pitiful. And how did it get this pitiful? Remember that, Dr. Brandon? Well, now we've got a new plan. We're going to take the 5th and 6th graders from McMurray Middle School and put them inside that pitiful school next year, that unsafe school. So the kids, follow me here, the kids that were in the portables for the last 2 years, now they get to move inside to the unsafe school with a roof that needs repair, toilets that need to be fixed so that they fit kids of their age, electricity that shocks people. That's what we're going to do instead of putting them in portables over at McMurray while they get remodeled. It's going to create more disruption. And we've done this without a single parent meeting. We haven't told a single parent we're going to do this. Yet we talk of parent involvement and we talk of equity. We both know if those kids were of a different demographic, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Please. I'm here. Cut us a break. We've done everything you've asked for 5 years. We've waited. We've worked hard. We've pushed those kids. We've done rigor. Please, please, I ask you, cut us a break and give us a new school that was equitable with the other schools in the district. Lastly, I got a bunch of teachers behind me, and I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to them. We need them. Quit trying to blame the mayor. Quit trying to blame the fact that the budget wasn't fully funded. Give them their 3%. They're deserving of that at minimum. There's not a single program that's going to work, no matter how hard you fund it, if they're not buying in. You need them. Let's act like it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Laura Abdul? Ms. Abdul?
Good afternoon. Actually, my name is Luma Abdul. That's why I couldn't respond. I just want to share my experience in Nashville Classical Charter School. It took me a while to find a perfect charter school to fit my need, my kids' needs. I have two kids, two different children, and going to two different ways. One a genius, one is ADHD, one is she's thinking ahead of her game, and one is like going towards the other ways. It took me a good while until I found a good charter school. Not all charter schools earn the names charter school, but for my own experience, Nashville Classical is the best one I have seen yet. We need more schools like Nashville Classical. We need more schools who cares about our kids, whether they genius, whether they need help. I struggle with my son about his IEP. I keep telling everybody he need IEP. Nobody listened to me. Say, oh no, he just needed a little bit reminder. Now, after his first year of kindergarten, towards the end, they say yes, he does need it an IEP. Why it was not approved from the beginning? Why it was too late? Why it was after the fact? It took a lot of energy from me to keep going with my child every day, day by day, to give him all the support. So we need to work on the IEP. There's a lot of kids, especially from my community, from the Arabic community, who does not know about the IEP. Why we don't push the IEP, fairly enough, because a lot of people keep telling them, oh, because the language barrier. We cannot give them IEP because of the language barrier. Most of the kids who qualify for IEP will not get it just because they blame it on the language barrier. So we need to think more about these kids who really need help, who's struggling between two different cultures. Homes is the Arabic cultures, and school is the American cultures. We need to focus on these schools more. Thank you for your time.
The next five are Amanda Kale, Beverly Whalen, Nicole Morris, Unico Cardwell, and Golden Calix.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board and Dr. Joseph. My name is Amanda Kale, and I'm here tonight to talk about a matter of public concern. Specifically, I'm here to talk about teacher salaries. I know that figuring out all the details of a system as large and complex as ours is a tremendous amount of work. I don't envy the kinds of decisions you have to make. Thank you for your hard work. However, I do have a major concern about the budget. It's this. If teacher retention is one of the biggest challenges facing our district today, why doesn't our budget address that challenge? So many teachers, myself included, were disheartened to learn that teacher raises would only be 2%. Considering how many years teacher wages have been frozen, this is really just a cost of living increase for the cost of living several years ago. And cost of living in Nashville has skyrocketed in that time. I understand that Mayor Berry did not give us the full amount we requested, but I still think it is possible to find the money. In that vein, here are some things I have found in the April 11 operating budget that are being funded at this time. For example, line item partner strategic initiatives project management, a half-time position makes $50,500. Part-time 0.5 coordinator credit recovery makes $53,600. A .5 position executive officer leadership development makes $94,800. 2 data fellowships are slated to receive $187,200. In the district document about the budget entitled Raising the Bar for All Students, I found $1.2 million for assessment tools. In another MNPS document, Investing in People, there is $226,000 for Gallup polls and employees surveys. A few weeks ago, I was interviewed by Channel 2 for my opinion as a teacher on the budget. I will repeat what I said then. The number one thing I need as a teacher to make my students succeed is to have other teachers in the classrooms around me. And I need those teachers to stay. I challenge you to find a struggling school that does not have low teacher retention rates. Craig Fitzhugh, a member of our Tennessee legislature, recently remarked that a budget is a moral document. We fund what we value. It's time to show how much we value the men and women who are doing the work to make MNPS exceed great expectations. Please, let's find a way to fund 3% teacher raises this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the board, Dr. Joseph, esteemed guests, good afternoon. I am speaking on a matter of public concern, salaries of both teachers in general and school psychologists in particular. May is Show Your Love for Teachers Month. Nothing would make teachers feel more loved than enough money to live in a city with a ballooning cost of living. Nothing would make us feel more loved than attracting the best professionals to Metro. Did you know that a beginning Metro teacher with a bachelor's degree starts at a salary that is behind Kingsport, Arlington, Bartlett, and Sullivan school systems here in Tennessee? Let's say a teacher gets started. She works hard, she earns her master's degree, she climbs those salary steps. As a Metro teacher, she will always be behind her peers in Bristol and Franklin, at least until step 25. If she maxes out her years with that master's degree, she will still be receiving less pay than her peers in Johnson City, McMinnville, and Dyersburg. Metro teachers touch the future, but they never touch the top of the Tennessee pay scale, let alone the nation's. If Nashville is a top city, we have to compete with districts in New York, California, and Connecticut to hire the best educators. How about school psychologists? In most counties, we are paid on an administrative schedule, but here we're paid on the teacher schedule. School psychs need an EDS or doctorate to practice now. Currently, we have about 70 professionals in our department. 14 of us have doctoral degrees. Most of us have national certifications. 7 of us are professional psychologists with a capital P. We could be working privately and charging insurance, but we're devoted to Nashville's students. We are experts in data interpretation, curriculum, mental health, educational law, crisis intervention and response, consultation, behavior change for individuals and systems, and assessment. We conduct psych assessments that usually cost about $1,500 in the private sector. In the 2010 school year, we completed 3,862 evaluations. Last year, 4,508 on top of our other duties. Good school psychs support behavior, achievement, and emotion, and help Metro to avoid litigation. A starting school psych salary in Metro is $46,000. In Louisville, it is $53K. In Atlanta, it's $57K. Did you know there's a serious shortage of school psychologists, not only in Tennessee, but in the nation? We educators show our students how much we love them daily. We respectfully request that the district return show your love for teachers as well. You could exceed great expectations on our paychecks. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Nicole Morris, and I'm a proud parent of a Tennessee public charter school scholar. Without hesitation, I signed the parent letter addressed to the school board, and with the other parents on that letter, I am anxiously awaiting the board's response. The following is the reason my name is among the many parents in support of our Tennessee public charter schools, and why I'm speaking to you tonight. In 2014, I was looking for an elementary school for my son to attend first grade. I'm a product of private schooling, and I desired the same for my son, but I had no means to do that. I was told about Purpose Prep Academy, a Tennessee public charter school, and decided to look further into it. I took a tour of the facilities and saw the classrooms in actions and absolutely loved it. I applied and my son was accepted, and everything was wonderful until after the entrance assessment, when the teacher told me that my child, who to me was the most brilliant person in the world, was below grade level. Clearly, there was something wrong with the test and with the teacher, because my child is a genius, is what I thought to myself as I just stood and looked at her with a barely audible, okay. The decision to keep him on track for first grade was made with the understanding that he may struggle because he was behind all of the other scholars who had attended Purpose Prep for kindergarten. Fast forward to November. It's report card time, and we're called in for parent-teacher conferences. I go in expecting the worst because of what the previous conversations were, and I sat down with the teacher. She pulled out his report card. Every subject, all A's. I was ready to hear he's not where he needs to be, he's still struggling, all A's. The teacher looked me in my face and said, well, when he entered, he was struggling, but so far, he's passed step 3, he's passed step 4, he's passed step 5, he's passed step 6, and he's passed step 7 from August of 2014 to November of 2014. And we just haven't stepped him on step 8 yet because that's the end of the year benchmark. He was already where he needed to be by November after being behind. He's still a student at Purpose Prep and still thriving and still learning and thriving. As a parent, I want my child to receive the best education possible. And as an educator, I'm willing to give that education to every scholar that passes me. Their home life, their parents' income, and their zip code should not be a factor in the quality or the quantity of education they receive. As educators, and some of you parents, and as human beings, aren't you willing to do the same? Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Junko Cardwell, and I am the parent of a 10th grader at Knowledge Academies in Antioch. And I'm actually here to talk about or to give support to the school system. I went to public schools all through high school. And one of the things that I noticed is, as a parent, it's very hard to find out about policies, about testing. I was a person that always excelled at school, and realized that my son was not that person. He has a different learning style, and for me, it was very difficult to find out how to help him come up through elementary school. I realized that he's just different from me. So I did take a chance, and he goes to Knowledge Academy. And once we found he was there 2 years, actually 1 year, and we finally got him tested. During the elementary school stage, he was not able to be tested for various reasons. I was given various reasons. The psychologist wasn't available. They wanted to see how he would progress. Meanwhile, he was held back in first grade. And I always knew that there was something a little bit different, in terms of retaining information. So he's at a school that I fully support, and he feels good there. And I just want to tell the board that having teachers have training about finding disabilities, maybe we could have made some changes from the very beginning. And so one of the things that I want to do is support the school system as a parent, but also support organizations like Nashville Rise. Nashville Rise is a parent organization, and they support being an advocate for students. And that's one of the things that I think if we try to work together, we could spread the word about Nashville Rise. And it's all about that quality education for all children. And that's one of the things, that's one of the reasons why I came to the school board meeting. I also want to say that teachers are so important. I keep hearing about the raise or lack of a raise, and that saddens me because the teachers at my son's school really do love him. And I'm really pleased about the progress that he's made. And I just want that to continue. So if we could support our teachers by giving that minimum raise, that would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Golden Calyx.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Golden Calix.
Good afternoon, my name is Golden Calyx.
Pido una disculpa por ocupar a alguien que me traduzca, pero mi inglés es muy poco.
I want to give apologies for having to have a translator, but I don't speak that much English.
Soy madre de familia de la escuela LEAD.
I'm a mother of a student at this Lead Public Schools.
Quiero hablarles rápidamente mi experiencia en esta escuela.
And I want to talk briefly about my experience in this school.
Cuando mi hija entró a esta escuela tenía problemas con la lectura.
When my daughter entered the school, she had problems reading.
Honestamente, los maestros de la escuela LEAD me han ayudado muchísimo con mi hija.
And honestly, the teachers at Lead Public Schools have helped my daughter tremendously.
Y el son de hoy estoy muy contenta porque mi hija lleva una nota con una B en lo que es lectura.
And I'm very happy because my daughter, the report card she just brought back, she had a B.
Y estoy aquí para pedirles que tener la oportunidad de tener una escuela desde kinder.
And I'm here to ask you for your support to have a school like this starting in kindergarten.
Porque también tengo unas gemelas que están en segundo grado.
Because I also have twins who are in second grade.
Y me gustaría que entraran a este tipo de escuelas.
And I would love for them to be able to enter this type of school.
Yo sé que con el apoyo de ustedes esto podría ser posible.
I know that with the support from you all, this could be possible.
Y pues ese es lo que vengo yo aquí a apoyarle y a contarles un poquito de lo que es la escuela LEAD.
And so that's the whole reason that I came here, to tell you a little bit about my story and to support LEAD.
Mi hija, ella tiene problemas con lo del que es el aprendizaje.
My daughter has a learning trouble.
Y en esta escuela, honestamente, le han ayudado muchísimo lo que es eso. Cada maestro me ha escuchado.
And so honestly, I've had a lot of luck at the school. Every teacher has listened to me.
Tenemos reuniones con los maestros cada vez que terminan los exámenes.
And every time that we finish exams, we have meetings with the teachers.
Y eso me permite que ellos me escuchen y ellos me puedan apoyar y yo apoyarlos para que mi hija salga adelante.
And this helps me to be able to express. Sorry, I forgot. Will you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
A que yo pueda hablar con los maestros y ellos hablar conmigo para que nos apoyemos.
So I can talk with the teachers can talk with me so we can support one another.
Y es lo que ando buscando para mis otras niñas también.
And that's what I'm also looking for my other daughters as well.
Gracias por escucharme y espero que tomen en cuenta lo que les estoy diciendo.
Thank you for your time, and I hope you take into account what I've said.
Thank you. The next five are Golden Calyx, Gabriella Reisner, Lil Russell, Reka Say, and Melvin Hart.
Good evening. My name is Gabriella Reisner, and I'm the parent of two students who attend Lead Southeast in Antioch. I'm here to ask for your continued support of our college prep middle school and for the elementary school that Lead wants to run. I'd like to share with you some of the reasons why I love Lead Southeast and what made me choose Lead Southeast for my kids. About 4 years ago is when I was starting to look into middle schools for my daughter. And I felt like there was a lack of options in the southeast and Antioch areas of Nashville. So we entered the lottery for a couple of the magnet schools. And even though my child met all the academic requirements for some of these schools, we were waitlisted for all the schools that we chose, which was really kind of disappointing. So we went back to the drawing board, and through a little bit of research and word of mouth, we found LEAD. When we toured the school, there was an enthusiasm and a positivity that you could feel, and I definitely continue to feel when I visit the school even now. One of the main draws for me was the smaller classroom size. It was something that I was used to going to school myself, and I feel it only helps teachers to keep on top of everyone in the class, but also helps the children from getting lost in the shuffle. I love the consistency of discipline throughout the school. They follow a standard, or what they call ethos, every day. The kids are required to be self-reliant. They must be respectful of their peers and faculty always. And likewise, the faculty is respectful of the students. They are taught to be brave and to serve others. And you hear these ethos being repeated and spoken about and reinforced daily. I feel that this in and of itself will instill values in these children that they will carry on throughout their school years and through adulthood. And most importantly is the education that my children are receiving at LEAD. The teaching staff is great, and the technology that is used in the classroom puts them, I think, a step ahead of other schools. And what's actually really kind of great, which is coming up, which is a graduation for our high school, that example is LEAD Academy, and they've set an outstanding example. For the 4th year in a row, 100% of their graduating class is going to continue their education, be it college, 4-year college, or a community college. And I think that's something huge to brag about. I hope this will help you make your decision to continue our LEAD charter school system. Thank you for your time.
I have little people with me, so y'all have to excuse me. My name is Honey Russell, and this is Michael. He is a student at Tulip Grove where I work, and he attends school. He's in kindergarten. Shout out to Tulip Grove. I would like to thank Dr. Joseph and the administration for not abandoning their commitment to our salary increases for support employees. I'm a support employee, special education. We want the community to understand our urgency and passion for employee salary increases. We would like to remind the school board members and educate the new employees of the administration and the central offices of the following. In the 2015-16 school and fiscal year, the average employee in the 12-month secretarial position made $12.58. Now, I have 3 minutes. You need to be quiet. Which translates to $26,166.40 per year. Once you take out the yearly employee portion of our family insurance premiums of $7,036.64, the take-home pay was about $19,000. That was not for 10-month hourly employees, which I am. We state this to remind you of the urgency of the increasing employee compensation for Metro School support employees for the upcoming year. As we all know, the cost of living in Nashville has grown exponentially over the past several years. The majority of Metro School support staff live in Davidson County, inner city mostly. Just like you, we have received our property assessments, and I about fainted. We were wondering and worrying how we were going to pay the increases along with our other bills. As you know, Nashville the median assessment for Nashville was increased by 37%, and I'm not going to get that on my check. Not going to get that. This is why a majority of support staff employees work 2 jobs to make a living to support their families. This is and their children, as a majority, attend Metro Public Schools. Again, I'd like to thank you for not abandoning your promise for support employee raises. We honor your commitment to provide salary increases given the budget situation. We're willing to be your partners in crime. We're willing to be your partners in the classroom. We're willing to be your partners at the courthouse to ensure that MNPS can be the best school system in this country. I thank you. Now you want to say hi? I got 13 seconds. Say hi. Well, that's it then. Come on.
Hi.
All right, let's go.
Good evening, Dr. Joseph and school board members. My name is Rico C. Sr., and I'm a 15-year veteran from Metro Davidson County Public Schools at Two Rivers Middle, and I work as an in-school suspension monitor there. I just want to restate what my sister, Union Sister Lil Russell, just stated. She just gave you a take-home salary of a 12-month secretary employee that made only just $19,129.76, which did not include tax deductions, health care deductions, and other things that come out of her check. I want people to know that the federal poverty level for a family of 3 during that same time frame was $20,160. Support staff employees that work within the schools are the lowest paid employees of the MNPS, Metro Nashville Public School System. I give those numbers to put that into perspective regarding the salaries from my point of view. We are committed to our jobs, to the students, and to our great school system. We are so committed that we take a second and third job to make ends meet so we can work here at Metro Schools. We want our careers here. We want to retire here. We are expecting you as leaders of MNPS to keep your word about the long-term commitment to raising the salaries of support staff. We want to ensure that the budget isn't being balanced on our hard-working backs like the past administrations. The sacrifice must be equally shared among all employees of the Metro Davidson County Public School System. We will observe the rest of the budget process to hold you accountable to this standard. We at SEIU Local 205 have faith in the Metro Nashville Public School System Board and the administration. Dr. Joseph, Big Daddy Dr. Joseph. We are excited for the tenure here at Metro Schools. SEIU Local 205 is excited about the fresh start with the new administration. You made a commitment to us that support staff will be treated with dignity and respect. We appreciate that commitment, and you have shown us that commitment. And before closing, I would like to say, please remember the value words that you say before we open up the meeting. And if you don't mean these words, please don't say them. I pledge allegiance to the flag of these United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Value us, honor us, and pay us. Thank you.
Hello, school board members and Dr. Joseph. My message to you today is simple. Thank you for work that you do. We as workers understand this has been a fast and complicated year. Transition isn't easy. There was a lot of you who had to access and create at the same time. You came into an environment where employees wasn't happy and felt disrespected by the previous administration. We feel it is important to say this at this time because you are in the midst of making decisions that will affect students and staff in their daily lives. We understand the weight of this responsibility. It is important that in our democracy, we have a voice in the process. It is important that we express our concerns and issues to you as leaders. It is important that you as leaders have information you need to make the decisions for the entire school system, especially support staff that are often overlooked because we aren't teachers. The longer we wait for our salary issues to be addressed, the further behind we get in our lives trying to provide for our families. We want to be a partner with you and willing to be a partner with you. We must communicate with each other to continue this positive relationship we have with you. We as support staff are dedicated to the students of MNPS. We hope we honor the dedication through your actions and communication with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Good.
I'm James Brown. I'm a network engineer here at Metro Nashville Public Schools, and I'm also the chief steward for the Metro Schools chapter of SEIU Local 205. We understand that Mayor Berry did not fund fully fund the requested $59.5 million budget increase. We understand tough decisions have to be made in deciding how to spend the $36 million increase we did receive. Thank you for your commitment to raises for MNPS employees, especially the support staff. Dr. Joseph, thank you for the email yesterday morning broaching this subject, giving us a heads up. That was important to us. We appreciate you being proactive. We appreciate you making us know that we're important, that we're not just an afterthought to your administration. It means a lot. We're going to take y'all at your word that you're committed to following Metro government's lead in salary increases over the next 3 years. We understand that you can't fulfill the full 3% cost of living increase that we had expected due to this budget shortfall. And we understand that you will continue to fund step increases and provide a 2% cost of living increase. If you choose to go to Metro Council and ask them to fully fund our cost of living increase, we'll go with you. We'll support you. We'll advocate for you. Metro Schools is important to us. It's important to me. I believe in what we do. Thank you for your help.
Next five are Eric Huth, Jamaica McGill, Sherelle Stanford, Teddy, and Crystal Schwartz.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Eric Huth, President of the Metropolitan Nashville Education Association. I'm here this evening to talk to you about teacher retention. Retaining teachers or any employees is more than just making sure that they have a good or livable wage. There are other factors within the district that you need to consider. We continue to have issues related to the climate and culture in some of our schools, but right now, most teachers and even our friends from SEIU are concerned about this notion that the district would propose a 3% raise, and then when it comes time to cut the budget, when the mayor doesn't fully fund it, the first thing to go is the raises. It's very disheartening for employees to see that the budget is balanced on their back year after year, especially in a case like this year when so much hoopla was made about the 3% raise. Those of us who are teachers have this confusion we have to deal with all the time with what is 3%? Does that include the state raise? Does that not include the state raise? What does the state 4% mean? Does it mean anything? So there's a lot of confusion related to how salary increases are implemented. And we do know that there were monies in the past that were diverted from raises intended for employees in order to give bonuses to certain groups of employees who were not, who didn't work with children directly. So I would hope that you avoid that sort of trap as well. But our teachers are out there, they're working hard every day, and we need to address not only the monetary issue, but also the working conditions within the school. I encourage you to get your eraser and your pencil back out and recalculate that budget and add in the 2% raise for all employees, both teachers and my colleagues from SEIU. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jamaica McGill? She's not here? Who's that?
I'm Sherelle Stratford.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just want to introduce my name is Sherelle Stratford, and I want to apologize if you hear tears because this is as passionate as I can put my words down for what I'm going to say. I'm one out of the several hundred parents who signed the letter that was addressed to Dr. Joseph and to the school board last month in support of the charter schools. So I just want to tell you my experience of what I've had at Rocket Ship United Academy, which is a Nashville public charter school. I have a daughter named Jasmine Joseph who's in the 1st grade, also a son, Corey Joseph, who is in kindergarten. Prior to Rocket Ship, Jasmine went to my neighborhood zone pre-K and kindergarten public school, as well did Corey for pre-K. Jasmine showed dramatic social and emotional issues while in school at our zone public school. This behavior and concerns were never communicated to me or were ever addressed. The only time that I knew about it and that somebody spoke about it was when I actually had to go to the school and experience her crying spells. And when I would try to reach out to the teacher or even the counselor, the school counselor, or the principal, I didn't get a response. So naturally, I just assumed that that wasn't something that the school handles. I thought that was just something that I had to figure out and how to handle it at home and hope that she doesn't do it in school. So after that, I also went through my son. He was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. So he went into our into our neighborhood zone pre-K with the IEP. Throughout that pre-K school year, Corey didn't show any progress, no growth. Like, he knew maybe 3 letters, and that was all we got out of the pre-K program, which Jasmine got obviously way more than that. With his IEP, obviously he has special accommodations, but it seemed like the goals that they set, the mindset that I was given was that he's just going to be behind, and he's just going to need more help. Which I thought, okay, so I'm supposed to just settle with that he's always going to be behind. Now, with Corey coming out of pre-K and not seeing any progress, I thought that that's just what I had to settle with. Any parent who wants the best for their child, that's a hard pill to swallow. So what I decided was not to settle. I decided to research it. Nashville graciously has alternative options. So I did begin to start looking outside of my zone schools, doing research, and what surfaced was charter schools. The charter school that I decided to go with was Rocket Ship United Academy. With Rocket Ship United Academy, I had to weigh my options. Did I want to keep them at the current zone school? Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Can I keep going?
We have 3 minutes.
Okay.
That's all. Sorry.
Okay.
Teddy? Here? Crystal Schwartz. Is Crystal Schwartz here? Thank you.
Good evening, Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Joseph. My name is Crystal Schwartz. I reside at 1138 Sunnymead Drive. Thank you for allowing me to brag on my school. When my husband and I chose Nashville Classical Charter School, we were completely unaware of the division in Davidson County surrounding charter schools. We chose this school because its founder, Charlie Friedman, spoke of a vision he had for a diverse school that was passionate about each child as an individual and eliminate common obstacles to learning and creativity. I was inspired by his vision, and in 2014, we brought my son to NCCS. Little did I know at the time when we chose the school that my son would be diagnosed with ADHD. Statistically, many children with my son's diagnosis struggle with bullying by other children, low self-esteem, emotionally sensitive behavior, as well as low test scores. At the end of one difficult day, my 9-year-old boy was in tears after feeling as if he would never grasp a new math concept they had covered in class. He expressed to me he felt the weight of disappointing his teacher after she'd worked so hard to help him understand, and he just couldn't get it. Shortly after his confession, I received a text from his teacher regarding the afternoon events. She says, quote, "I'm so proud of him. I don't want him to ever give up on himself or think I would ever give up on him, because that won't happen. I will continue to work with him and encourage him." And she meant it. And my son comes home tired, and he's emotional, and he's full of self-doubt at times, and he knows he's different, and he knows it's harder for him to grasp things. However, his demons of shame are not affirmed by his teachers or his school. Encouragement is fostered, and bullying is not tolerated. And because of this, the lies he sometimes believes about himself do not take root in the soil of his soul. They are voiced honestly to adults who listen, and truth is spoken by adults who have the desire to empower. Over the past 4 years, the teachers and administration in this school have worked tirelessly to ensure my son would receive the same quality of education as his classmates who do not have learning disabilities. They hold him to a high standard, but they also hold his hand while he climbs to achieve that standard. I'm not afraid of high standards. I've seen our school achieve them and exceed them. I'm only asking that you would foster an environment where bullying because of school choices is not tolerated as well. I'm asking you would encourage and support us all as we climb to achieve that standard, because we are all Metro public schools. I am one of the many charter school parents who signed the recent letter addressed to you and the Tennessean. I'm looking forward to hearing your response to the concerns posted in our letter, because I believe in the work you do, and I believe choice is instrumental in affirming the positive power of diversity.
Thank you. Cornetta Dansby. Ms. Dansby here?
I'll be reading on Cornetta's behalf, if that would be okay.
Right.
Dear MNPS School Board and Dr. Joseph, I am Cornetta Dansby, one of the parents that signed the parent letter sent to the school board. I currently have a 4th and 2nd grader enrolled at East End Prep. My children were originally enrolled in a private school for pre-K and kindergarten, and it was important to me for them to continue their education on an advanced level. While researching elementary school in my district area, I noticed lower achievement scoring in English and math. I was excited to have the opportunity to apply for the option enrollment at East End Prep. When I went to visit the school, my first impression was the colleges listed on the doors of the school. The children get excited about their college classroom, but it also gets them familiar with colleges. It's not if they're going to college, but where they may want to go to college. My children have been at East End Prep since 1st grade and have excelled in all areas. The teachers and staff are sincerely devoted to the children's education and growing them to respectful young men. The Bible states it takes a village to raise a child. We have teachers that make themselves available after school hours for questions for parents as well as students. They communicate if my children are not doing their best, encourage them to be leaders within the school, and somehow find time to stop by the children's ball game on Saturday at 9 a.m. This builds trusting relationships with teachers and students. My experience with East End Prep exceeds my expectations as a parent. I live in a great community across the street from my parents. My children can walk across the street and spend time with their grandparents at any time. I am 10 minutes from my church, where all are very active. I refuse to move to a different area zoning for high-performing schools because my children have been signed up for a lottery at some point and remain number 200 plus for a seat in a magnet school. I'm excited to have the opportunity to send my children to a wonderful public charter school as East End Prep. Our focus should be on the best education for each child. Time is being wasted attacking public charter schools. This time should be spent on finding ways to make sure all children get the best education. I'm looking forward to hearing the answers to the questions that were included in the letter to the board. Sincerely yours, Cornetta Dansby.
Thank you. Amy Thielen.
Last one, yay. Hi, my name's Amy Phelan. I'm the parent of a third grader at the amazing Dan Mills Elementary in Inglewood. There are always many discussions and debates about how to improve our schools. What trends should we embrace? Montessori, project-based learning, STEAM, Waldorf, more technology, less screen time. It's overwhelming. However, we only need to look to Hollywood, yes, Hollywood, to figure out the best way to improve our schools. Do you remember To Sir with Love or Dead Poets Society, Stand and Deliver, Dangerous Minds? All these movies and countless others are not about some cool new educational trend. You've never seen an inspirational movie about Paideia. No, these movies are about the power of excellent teachers. Many factors contribute to a student's academic performance, especially a student's home life. But research suggests that among school-related factors, teachers matter most. When it comes to student performance on reading and math tests, a teacher is estimated to have 2 to 3 times the impact of any other school factor, including services, facilities, and even leadership. If we know how much teachers matter, we need to make sure that we are attracting and retaining the best possible teachers for our district. Teachers know when they enter the field that they're never going to be rich. But shouldn't they at least expect that they won't have to get second and third jobs just to survive financially? If MNPS substantially raises teacher pay, we will attract and retain some of the best teachers from around the state and the country. This won't happen if teachers can't even afford to live in Davidson County. The teachers who have taught my child at Dan Mills, which is just an amazing school, have helped her grow socially, emotionally, and especially academically. On this National Teachers Day, I'd like to specifically acknowledge Sophia Chinakis and Teresa Jones. They're both exceptionally effective and inspiring teachers, but they're only 2 of the many great teachers at Dan Mills and across the district who are dedicated and innovative. Jared Amato is another teacher. He's at Maplewood High School, who is so inspiring. He works way more than he's required to. He is trying to improve not literacy just in the school, but the entire community. I got to work with him on that project, Lit Project. It's amazing. He's the type of teacher that movies are made about and that can help change kids' futures. We need to keep these amazing teachers and attract others like them to improve the educational outcomes of our students. Let's start by paying them like the professionals that they are. Thank you.
We'll move on to our governance issues with the consent agenda. Dr. Brennan?
Yes, the consent agenda is as follows. A, approval of minutes for 3/14/2017, 3/27/2017, and 4/25/2017 meetings. B, recommended approval of supplement number 1 for McMurray Middle School renovations, HMK Architects, PLLC. C, awarding of purchases and contracts. Number 1, Aquaphase Incorporated. 2, Dell Marketing, LLP. 3, Neely Coble Company, Incorporated. 4, Oliver Little Gibson Engineering, Incorporated. 5, Unicode Technology, Incorporated. And D, the tenure teacher list. Madam Chair, I move for approval of the consent agenda as read.
Second. Any discussion? All approved? Show of hands, please. Okay, the consent agenda passes as read. We will go on to the director's reports. Dr. J.
Thank you once again. As a former teacher, one of my greatest frustrations in late summer and early fall was coming to grips with the negative consequences of the summer break. More often than not, my students simply did not remember what they learned in the preceding spring semester. So I typically spend the first 6 weeks of the new school year reviewing the previous year's curriculum. Sadly, this situation persists. If you were to poll our teachers, they would say the same thing. Researchers have concluded that by the 5th grade, the cumulative impact of summer learning loss can put a child years behind his or her peers. The solution to stemming the tide of summer learning loss is expanding the availability of summer learning opportunities. This is one of our key strategies and investments for advancing the priorities outlined in our strategic framework. We endeavor to have all of our students reading at or above grade level by third grade, and each new school year, we want every child to be ready to tackle grade level curriculum. I'm especially pleased that we are expanding our English language summer program offerings. These programs are vital to help our English language learners gain proficiency in English and make progress towards becoming confident readers. Our summer school programs also provide a much-needed nutritious breakfast and lunch and a safe, supervised environment. In fact, these benefits were cited in an op-ed written by Ms. Shepard, which ran a few weeks ago in the Sunday edition of the Tennessean. Without these programs, many of our low-income students would be home alone this summer and would not have access to learning-related activities. Dr. Monique Felder, Chief Academic Officer, and Jennifer Bell, Director of Extended Learning Programs, will provide an overview of the district's summer learning opportunities at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph. So we'd like to start with a question. What typically comes to mind when you think about summer?
Pools, swimming.
Heat, pools, swimming. You got it. We typically think about those things along with vacations, relaxing break, barbecues, amusement parks, and fairs. But we should also be thinking about summer learning loss, also known as summer slide. Summer slide is real. It is a tendency for students, especially those from low-income families, to lose some of the achievement gains they made during the previous school year. So when we think about summer, we should also be thinking about the fact that our students are missing learning opportunities during their 51 days of not attending school. So why does summer learning matter? We'd like to share 4 reasons. And you should have a folder. And in your folder, you'll find a copy of the PowerPoint, as well as a document behind the PowerPoint that lists lots of reasons why summer learning matters. But here are 4. So summer learning matters because every summer, especially low-income youth lose 2 to 3 months of reading, while their higher-income peers make slight gains. Summer learning matters because reading losses add up. By 5th grade, summer learning loss can leave low-income students in particular 2.5 to 3 years behind their peers. Summer learning also matters because research indicates that gaps in student achievement widen significantly during the summer. And lastly, low-income youth lose access to healthy meals over the summer. 6 out of every 7 students who receive free and reduced price lunches lose access to them when school is out. So here's Jennifer Bell, Director of Extended Learning Programs, who will share information about how MNPS will be providing summer learning opportunities and meals to thousands of MNPS students this summer. Jennifer?
Good evening. So this is the time of year where we begin to think that schools are going to wrap up, we'll start closing the doors soon, and we'll start cleaning the buildings from top to bottom. But in actuality, this is going to be one of our busiest summers in Metro School for summer learning. And so I'm going to go through some of the overview and impact of that. And I want to reiterate something that Dr. Felder said. We have 2 very critical needs that occur during the summer. First being learning loss, and the second one being the access to those basic needs such as meals. So in this discussion, I'm going to cover those 2 critical needs and how we're addressing those. We went into planning for summer with a very intentional focus. That was that the opportunities that existed within those schools were going to be intentional and they would impact that student achievement. And secondly, we would increase equity and access across our schools. And so you can see that. And in your folder, you will have handouts that have this in a much larger font, and they're also more detailed. So as I look at each of these clusters in your folder, there is a breakdown of every school and what that offering is within your cluster. This information is also available to our audience and everyone else in the community online, and it's broken down that way. So let's look at what we're offering here. This summer, we have 67 schools that are opening up their buildings for summer learning opportunities. 67. This is a huge increase from last year. And we estimate that the participation in those schools will be approximately 4,425 students. Now, a huge factor that contributed to this increase of opportunities for students this year was the Read to Be Ready grant. Last year in Metro Nashville, Davidson County, one school was a recipient of the Read to Be Ready grant. It served 47 students. This year we'll have 22 schools, over $500,000 allocated from the Department of Ed to offer Read to Be Ready camps across our district. So that's huge. We'll serve about 750 students in Read to Be Ready. And so let's break down, let's imagine that we're a family and there's not a summer opportunity at one of those 67 schools, or our child does not attend one of those 67 schools that have a learning opportunity. We've also been able to increase equity and access through our open enrollment camps and programs. These open enrollment camps and programs are open to any student throughout the district, and there's more information in your folder specifically about these various programs and camps, so it's more detailed. But let's focus on a few things that you can see here. I did a comparison of 2016 to 2017, and if you'll notice, we had 13 open enrollment camps in 2016. We served about 1,400 students. This year, we will have 44 open enrollment summer camps and programs, and will serve a little over 3,400 students. That's an increase of 2,000 seats that will be available for our students to fill for learning opportunities this summer. I want to showcase a few of these in particular. The EL Summer School, we had 5 sites last year. That has been increased to 11 sites this summer. At the EL Summer School, we also have our Reading Recovery Program, and I'll address that on the next slide, and you'll see the impact of that with the growth of the EL Summer School. We doubled the size of the On Target Summer Camp after hitting capacity within 3 days last year. And the TF Summer School, which met its maximum capacity and had a wait list, only had 400 seats last summer. They will serve 800 students this summer. So in access, I just spoke about Reading Recovery, which is offered to our students with a reading level of 1 and 2, our English language learners. Last year, we served 140 students. This year, 300 students will be served through Reading Recovery. And then let's talk about that other critical need. We know that our students receive 2 meals at no cost every day throughout the school year. But when summer hits, those meals aren't offered. And so for a low-income family who may not have access to those meals, we become dependent on those. We're very excited with our partnerships with School Nutrition, Metro Action, and Second Harvest Food Bank that 266,576 meals will be served this summer. And that's only if 80% of the students attend each day. So that's pretty phenomenal. Now, how about those students who aren't going to a program or a camp? Well, then you're not left behind, because for the second year, we will offer the summer meal program. And the summer meal program is offered at 3 sites. And to give you a basic overview of that, if you are 18 years and under, whether you're enrolled in a metro school or you're a cousin visiting from Wisconsin, if you're 18 years and under, you can walk into any one of these 3 sites during the hours of operation and receive a hot lunch at no cost. And that's accessible to anyone. If it's a family bringing their kids in, a parent can receive that meal for $3.50. So our objectives were to create or expand our equity and access. And we're doing that with an intentional focus on those factors that Dr. Felder just addressed, that of prevention of learning loss and helping our students to ensure they meet those basic needs throughout the summer.
Any questions, comments? Want to join us?
Good.
How can community members or board members, how can we help? How can we be involved?
Oh, well, two factors here. One, let's talk about summer meals. So we are in print with our flyers and that communication. We're working with our FISs in the schools to get the large hatch print 11 by 17 flyers that we posted at our community centers, churches, public buildings. We have a full marketing campaign for those, but as you all know, you have a lot of outlets in your community to help us get the word out about summer meals, so that will be very helpful. It will be hitting our social media and our press next week. Okay? When it comes to the camps and programs, this information is online. We're actually doing a little tweaking so it's easier for families to access, and those changes are expected by the end of the day tomorrow. But if you have families in the community that are asking, you know, what are opportunities for my child this summer, direct them to our online link, because in addition to what I just went over, we've also captured about 60 summer camps that are offered by community agencies throughout the city, and that is available and accessible for families online as well. So our families no longer have to Google summer opportunities in Nashville. We've got it.
And yes, I'd like to know how they apply for being a part of this program, these programs.
So the contact information, there's a spreadsheet, and that's what's available online. And in those spreadsheet, it has a contact at the school. So if that information has not already been shared with you at the school, we've provided it for families.
And how would a family that does not have online services apply?
You don't have to apply online. It can be done at the site. As a matter of fact, most of our registration is done by paper copy.
What 3 sites are you having the summer meals programs?
Pearl Cone High School, J.E. Moss, and Fall Hamilton.
This is great information. Anybody else have any questions? I think it's great. I mean, I can't believe y'all pulled this all together so quickly. It seems like it's quickly. Probably not for you, though.
Been working on this for months.
We will be showcasing a camp a day. If you like to follow us on Twitter, we will be showcasing a camp a day. So if you're not able to make it out, you're more welcome to follow along and see what's happening. All right.
And please save the date. Summer school graduation, July 19th, 10 o'clock a.m., Hillsborough High School. So we hope all board members will be able to come.
And last but not least, much like we arranged a tour to visit extended learning opportunities this year, we are hoping to arrange a tour to visit summer school programs this year. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joseph.
Yes.
Back to you.
Okay, our Show Your Love campaign. Last week, I had the honor of joining community and city leaders, Metro Schools partners, and teachers at the Shelby Street Pedestrian Bridge to kick off the Show Your Love for Teachers campaign, a citywide effort to recognize and reward and thank Nashville public school teachers. More than 6,800 educators in Metro schools represent some of Nashville's greatest unsung heroes. And the Show Your Love for Teachers campaign is one of the tangible ways that our business community acknowledges their invaluable contribution to the city. Show Your Love is the largest educator discount program in the Southeast. The citywide discounts for teachers begin this month, with some extending through December 2017. We thank our local businesses for their generosity and support, and tonight we salute our teachers, and we applaud the tireless effort of Shannon Hunt and her team at the Nashville Public Education Foundation, Mayor Megan Barry and the Mayor's Office, and Mayor Megan Barry from the Mayor's Office for developing this effort and honoring all public school teachers.
Thank you. We will move on to committee reports and do budget and finance. Ms. Pierce.
Yeah, so our Budget and Finance Committee will meet next Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and we will also have a public hearing at 5 o'clock, and we'll be going over the recommendations by administration and discussing that. And we also will have a hearing with Metro Council on Monday, May 22nd. I'm not sure what time, Chris. What time? 4:30, at 4:30 with Metro Council, and possibly have another meeting on the 23rd, but we will know more next Tuesday.
All right, moving down, we have a board chair report. I do have a very short one. So time flies when you're having fun, right? So 1 year ago, this coming Friday, was a historical event and decision, and it's been a very historical year as well. As a board, we have experienced we have had experiences that we've never had before under the leadership of Dr. Joseph. So no longer are you going to be our new director of schools, because you are now our director of schools.
Old and tired.
Yeah, the old director of schools. And it's been a great year, and we thank you for accepting, first of all, and we thank you for your help with us as a board.
Thank
so
you so
welcome.
much. It was great.
All right. And so we'll move on to announcements, and so start on this side. Dr. Brent?
I just want to alert the community about the Overton graduation this Saturday, 6 o'clock at Belmont.
I would like to extend congratulations to Sylvan Park Elementary's music teacher, Emily Biederstadt, who was selected by the CMA Foundation to receive the Music Teachers of Excellence Award. And the school's music program will receive a $5,000 check because of her award. Also would like to congratulate Charlotte Park Elementary's principal, Amy Downey, for winning the Tennessee 2017 National Distinguished Elementary Principal Award. And finally would like to announce that next Monday, the 15th at 6 p.m., Hillwood High School will be hosting an AP night, and I'm excited to begin to talk about expanded offerings and advanced academics for the entire cluster. And so we're kicking off that discussion next Monday night, 6 p.m. at Hillwood, and I hope you'll be able to join us.
Sandra?
I don't have any announcements.
Pierce?
Okay, I also had two teachers who were CMA recognized music teachers, Roberta Robertson at Glendale, who was also their Teacher of the Year, and Rita Black at Aiken Elementary. And Ms. Black invited me and State Rep John Ray Clemens to her class last Monday, and we had a great time watching her in action. And she was also one of 10 music teachers across the country selected to be a Yale Distinguished Music Educator. So we're really excited with the work Ms. Black is doing at Aiken, including her Jungle Book performance that runs through Thursday of this week. I'm hoping to catch one maybe tomorrow night. And then we also have Hillsborough High School graduation on Friday night at Lipscomb at 6 o'clock. And also with Hillsborough High School, their music theater received 12 nominations for the National High School Musical Theater Awards, and for their production of Guys and Dolls that you all saw a snapshot of 2 weeks ago. So they will find out who the winners are this Saturday night at TPAC. So we wish them well.
Ms. Buggs?
Again, Head STEM Magnet will be having an all-day STEM conference on tomorrow. So please feel free. They've opened their doors to all community members. Inglewood Elementary School is having a STEAM showcase on Thursday from 5 to 6:30. This is kind of a culmination of all their hard work. Go support those faculty, staff, and students. The choral teacher at Head Magnet is now headed to Nashville School of the Arts, the high school, but he was one of the CMA teachers honored a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal young man. Can't wait to see what he does at NSA. And I rarely shout out East Magnet, and I really should, for their 100% cohort graduation rate. For the last, I believe, 5 years, they've had the same cohort of ninth graders graduate, 100%. So they're not putting out students, they're not losing since those students are graduating. I think the wonderful thing about District 5 is that I have a number of charters, all of the academic magnets. I have a number of zone schools. I support you all. I appreciate you all. I want you to continue to feel like you can reach out to me. I just really want to just let you all know that I appreciate the work that you're doing in our community. Thank you.
So bear with me, I do have a number. First of all, I want to congratulate all the Teachers of the Year that we honored at the event last week. I want to give a shout out to Jacob Glancy, who got he won the Academy Coach of the Year from McGavock High School. This was his first year in that position, and he won that. And then his wife, who's won the Academy Counselor of the Year, Amy LaValle Glancy. So they're like the power couple from McGavock High School. And Cummings Inc. won the Academy of the Year as well at McGavock High School. Thank you to my colleague Mary Pierce, who did a fabulous job with the 30-40 year luncheon. I do appreciate that. Congratulations to all the teachers on tonight's agenda who got tenure on the consent agenda. The 2 band directors at McGavock High School, John David Hazlett and John Woodard won they were also recognized as the CMA Teachers of Excellence at that event last week. And last but not least, McGavock High School graduation is this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Be there no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. So,
This has been a service at the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.